So here we are, back at the very same bench as yesterday, and I'm back at least to see if I can work out what I call togging. I like togging. See if I can work out how to use my camera again. It's been a while, and smoking again. Sorry, Mum. Seems to be all I do at the moment, to be honest. But no, I can't work out how to use it. When I get back, when I've got my glasses on, I'll be able to see what I have done right and what I've done wrong, and we'll be able to work a bit further out. But that's something for later on. But the reason I'm doing this little vlog is that it would appear that the last couple of vlogs have upset a few people, and I mean emotionally, not like upsetting someone from the NHS or something like that. I really couldn't give a shit about that. It's people have found it difficult to watch, and I'm not going to apologise for that, because that was part of the whole point of doing it, really, in that this is the emotions of a man who goes through mental health issues one way or another. Again, doesn't matter what I'm diagnosed with. Some of you know, some of you don't. Doesn't really bother me. Various things, various issues from many years. Chucking the booze in the mix for many years and getting rid of that a few years, 21 years ago, obviously helps. But yes, the reason I got emotional yesterday and probably angry in the one the day before and tried to stay as calm as I possibly could is because I've gone into the mania stage. What they do is, although none of my previous psychiatrists have ever done this, so I think my new psychiatrist is pretty good, is they take away the antidepressants. And so what I've done is I've whacked up my mood stabilisers up to 1,000 milligrams. That's Depakote. I'm still on quite a low for me dosage of quetiapine, 300. I used to be on 600 of that years ago. And I've had to reduce the sertraline. Probably, I would say we reduced that quicker than we should have done. But it was a case of having to, because of the situation that I was in, and wanting to get results quickly. So not many people got to the end of yesterday's, I don't think. I only had a few people sending me messages saying Montague. But more than that, people said that they were really emotional and cried watching that stuff. I might have my glasses on today to, either look cool or cover my eyes like I did the other day. Doesn't really matter why. But again, this I'm hoping it's going to be a quick vlog. Look, I ain't going through brilliant times at the moment, and I know people are worrying about me, and I don't want that. I don't want people worrying about me, because if there's anybody in this world that I know that can, and this sound again, I'm manic, I suppose, or delusional or whatever. If there's anybody in this world that I know that can handle this stuff that's going on, it's me, man. And you know that. If you've known me for years and followed me blogs and my vlogs and my books and everything, and met me and whatever, you know that. So there's no point worrying. I spoke to a guy the other day, and I did some work for him a few years back, and then I got unwell. But he said he was worried that what he'd asked me to do had made me unwell, and I feel so bad that I never told him. I never knew that he felt that way. And I've got one of my thingamajigs that I might try and find out. And it goes along the lines of nobody or nothing ever affects my mental well-being apart from me. So it don't matter what you say, what you do. Okay, you might get on my tits and you might get me jumping down your throat every now and then, the way I am at the moment. But there's nothing that you guys can do that can make my situation worse. It's me that does that. It's my illness that does that. And there's nothing, as realistically, there's nothing you can do to help me. The only thing you can do to help me is you know, drop a like, drop a message saying, you know, I read your, or tell you what you can do to help me is go out and buy the book and books. And this time next year, Rodney, we'll be millionaires. So look, I'm not manic. I'm probably heightened. I'm in a relatively good mood. Got very little sleep again last night. In agony with the back. Even the sleeping tablets ain't working. I'm getting 3 hours off a sleeping tablet. Then I'm waking up in agony. And so I'm seeing the physio tomorrow. And we said last week that tomorrow's a decision day. It's probably going to be a case of referring me back to, oh, I hate to use this phrase, referring me back to my GP. Let's not say that. And then going down the route of probably one of them injections or whatever, and go from there. But if I'm honest, I think I need that now. I mean, yeah, I'm in agony, but everything's definitely straighter and definitely in the right angles. It's just, I guess I've relied. Oh yeah, I've relied a little bit too much on the crutches. I've had to do that because if I don't use the crutches, within 10 metres, I'm bent over like an old man, protecting, not that I'm a young man, protecting the back. So what the reason the physio gave me the traction machine, he said, look, we don't use traction machines very often these days, is because I said the only time I feel comfortable is when I'm moving around on my crutches. And the reason is because when I'm on the crutches, I actually lift my whole body off the floor. And for that moment, every time I move, the weight of my legs is pulling down and stretching me out, and it feels great. So that's why I try them with the traction machine. And it feels great when you're on it, but it's terrifying to get off it. And I managed it the other night. I managed it a couple of times this week. But it terrifies me, and I don't want to go on it. I will be honest with him. I have been on it a few times this week, but it's not for me. It's scary. It's just that thought of doing some damage, and again that comes from old Einstein, you know, and he was on sticks for, you know, pretty much the rest of his life, and from the stories I think he was telling me, that came from like a small injury at the gym, but he carried on training, and then he ended up, you know, in a bad situation on the sticks. And you know, touch wood, I suppose. I think the chances of that happening are small, but I wouldn't be able to take it. I wouldn't be able to take it. Nah, I couldn't cope with that. I could deal with everything else, but not being able to get around, not being able to, you know, be mobile, I wouldn't be able to deal with that. I'm just looking at in the screen there, and the pair of Ray-Bans I've got on are relatively new, and at the moment they probably look wonky to you, but my Ray-Bans always look wonky to begin with because the little things at the side have to adjust to the ridiculous bossed up shape of my nose, so they will settle in eventually. Yeah, so I'm doing this really just to say, don't worry about me. I'll deal with it, I'll handle it, it'll get sorted. Whatever else I've got going on with other situations, I may have cut off my nose to spite my face, but I've had to do it for my own sanity. And I if anybody's watching this, I'm not going to name any organisation or whatever. You know, I stand by 99% of what I said. There may be stuff in there that was unwarranted and unnecessary, but I stand by 99% of what I said, and I will always stand by it. And I know there's a possibility that we will be meeting shortly anyway, so that'll be good, because you are one of the people that you know very well. I gave 10 out of 10 in the email. Now, most of you ain't got a clue what that's all about, but if the right people are watching, and I think they should be watching at the moment, they'll know what they're on about, you know? They'll know what I'm on about. I had some really, really good experiences at Halesview recently, and the majority of people there, I gave them a 10 out of 10. They were fantastic. The girls on reception, the people on duty, the people who I've done some work with regards to what they're now calling life experience consultants. I've given them all 10 out of 10, but I've given the whole experience, because of a couple of issues, 6 out of 10, and the whole experience, that 6 out of 10, it could have turned out to be quite a bad situation if it hadn't have been me. And I don't mean to blow smoke up my own arse there, but you know, I am strong. I know the system quite well. I know why things are done the way they are done, and I know that, you know, you can't make sense of, you know, it's like, I was going to tell a joke there, but I think that would be classed as politically incorrect. It's like, you know, giving somebody a 1,000 piece jigsaw and say put that together, but don't give them a picture. At least I think that's what it's like, because I can't actually now remember what I was saying just before I said that. Anyway, so, well, it's a lot shorter than it was, but don't worry about me. Don't get upset. Don't cry. Don't worry about whether you've done something to upset me. You haven't. My illness is my responsibility. I take ownership of it, and I take ownership of my illness. I take ownership of my recovery, and I take ownership of my bullshit moods as well. That's my issue, not yours. You haven't caused anything. Whoever you are, it's down to me to sort that out. So I've just seen I've had a message of someone saying that, yeah, it did upset them, and I'm going to read that in a bit. Please don't get upset about me being in a bad place, because one of my many phrases, there ain't a thing I can't handle eventually. We just have to go through some shit sometimes to get to the end of it. And unfortunately, because I've been manic, I've shared it perhaps a bit too much with all of you. Yeah, there's nothing anybody can do. It's down to me. Yes, people have to ask for help. I asked for help with Halesview. They did what they could, and they did a very good job in the main. So, you know, I'm meant to be a big, strong boy, and I'm asking for help in times of crisis, so you can do it too. And right, I'm going to do one now. Have a busting day. Enjoy the good and ride out the bad, and I'll catch you soon. Bye bye.